want to see? They want to see Mayweather and Pacquiao.
He's going to fight me? Yes, yes.
One is a 3-time Fighter of the Year, a 10-time world champion, and the fighter of the decade for the 2000s, the pride of his native Philippines. The other is an 11-time world champion, undefeated at 47-0, boxing's best pound-for-pound fighter, and the highest-paid athlete in the world. Both are electric, crowd-pleasing fighters who have dominated the boxing scene for a generation, the two biggest draws in the sport.
Floyd Mayweather truly espouses what the sweet science is all about.
Panned by Pacquiao, stuns out Fury.
This is the beginning of the end.
We won't let him off.
Now it's all over. The fight is over.
And for the better part of the last 10 years, it was the one fight every sports fan wanted to see. Now, after years of eyeing each other from afar, on May 2nd, 2015, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, two of the best fighters the sport has ever seen, will finally step into the ring, ready to go toe-to-toe.
Building in the background is fans' expectations of Manny Pacquiao going against Floyd Mayweather.
If you look at boxing history, when two guys can make the kind of money that these guys are going to make, the fights usually get made. So my question was, why did it take so long?
We've come close on occasion before, very close. Sometimes it was money, sometimes it was drug testing, sometimes their training schedules didn't work out.
You're talking about the two biggest athletes in their sport for years and years and years, and they weren't able to come to terms.
So ultimately, after all these years of this dragging on, it was up to the fighters to make this fight happen.
It seems as though the breakthrough moment was the two fighters spontaneously and serendipitously running into each other at a basketball game.
Serendipitous events make a big difference, bigger than the actual business part of it. And maybe that's what happened when Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao got together at that Miami Heat game.
Somehow, through the magic of the universe, you're right in front of each other and have a chance to look each other in the eye as human beings.
He finally was ready and he wanted to confront Manny in front of the whole world.
At halftime, I walked over to him and I said, let's meet later on. Let's talk. Let's try to make this fight happen for real.
And I saw it blowing up on social media. Pictures of that and accounts of that went everywhere.
You see how big this fight is and how many people are paying attention to this with the explosion in social media that caused and the frenzy.
And then something strange happened a little bit later. I got a text from Floyd saying, can you FaceTime me?
I wanted to FaceTime him when I was at the meeting with Manny.
He was sitting on the couch apparently in a hotel room, it looked like, sitting next to Manny Pacquiao.
I said, we're getting close. It was a really, really good thing for him to do that, in my opinion.
And Manny called me, and they said that they felt assured that Mayweather wanted to do the fight.
Floyd, he wanted to be able to explain to him, as two fighters and as businessmen, we need to come together and work out a deal, and let's get the fans what they want to see.
He had a wonderful career, and I had a wonderful career, but before we leave the sport, of course, we have to make this fight happen.
But even after the momentous meeting in Miami, there was still plenty of work needed to make this mega fight happen.
The president and chairman of CBS, Leslie Moonves, really deserves a lot of credit because he got in there and served as an arbiter, basically, between two sides that couldn't talk to each other.
There's a lot of moving parts to make this fight. You have the two fighters with different promoters, two fighters with different advisors and cadres around them, two fighters with different networks.
The only serious issue that had to be resolved was the cooperation between the two networks, HBO and Showtime.
You could imagine Coke and Pepsi working together, or Burger King and McDonald's working together. It would have to take something really special, really historic, really stupendous to make two corporations come together for one event.
Then everyone had to make adjustments to their expectations and compromises.
Les and Richard Plepler, the chairman of HBO, solved all of the major problems in a 12-minute telephone conversation. And everything else was just details, but finally came to a resolution.
Whether it's Floyd, whether it's Showtime, whether it's HBO, whether it's Manny, Bob Arum, I think they all love the color green. And everybody's going to make a whole lot of green on this fight.
This time all the elements came together. It was just a little bit of luck, a lot of hard work, and people deciding that it was time for this fight to happen.
Eventually, after the most lengthy and difficult negotiation in the history of boxing, the fight that everyone had waited years to see was finally signed, sealed, and delivered.
It feels like a gift to boxing fans. It feels like an unexpected treasure to find under the Christmas tree, and everybody's happy that the fight will indeed take place.
Yes, I'm excited, and I'm in the best mood for this training camp because God gave me peace of mind.
I'm happy. I'm pretty sure he's happy. The world is happy. And, you know, this is the biggest fight in boxing history. So, you know, it's great to be in this position.
It's time. Two legends. One destiny. All roads end here. Mayweather-Pacquiao, May 2nd, live on pay-per-view. Mayweather-Pacquiao, Saturday, May 2nd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view.
As two of boxing's best, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather are both used to imposing their will and dominating their opponents. But the two fighters do it with uniquely different styles, both in and out of the ring.
As a fan, you see the two of them matched up and you're reminded how different they are. Culturally, their personalities, their public personas, their styles in the ring.
There's so much to think about in terms of mapping out a storyline for how this fight's going to go. Is it going to be early rounds for Floyd with his defense? Was Manny going to push him?
And that's why this fight is the irresistible force against the immovable object. Floyd has figured out every fighter that has come in to face him. But here we have in Manny a fighter who is unlike anyone else in the sport.
Greatest offensive fighter of the era, tattooing pork margarita.
And who is more motivated.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 punches in a concession.
Than anyone else Floyd has ever faced. Floyd beats Manny if he does what he's done 47 times before, which is dissect the opponent and dominate the latter parts of the fight.
His defense is superb.
Look at the way he makes them miss. I mean, 3, 4 shots.
And the other big strength he has is his accuracy in punching.
Mayweather no times misfires.
He lands approximately 50% of his punches. That is astonishing.
That's just unbelievable hand speed there by Mayweather.
If he throws that right hand first, he usually does a lot of damage with it.
Chopping right hand. Another right hand by Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather wins this fight if he does what he does at his best, which is control the distance of the fight and remain in a defensive position that discourages his opponent.
He can do it in a variety of different ways. He does it with brilliant footwork.
And there he shows his foot speed.
He does it by countering effectively both to the head and the body.
String combination culminating with the right to the body.
He does it by reminding you every time you've made a mistake, usually with that flicking right-hand counterpunch.
Oh, right cross clips Maidana.
And he needs to establish and assert that feeling of mastery, that aura of psychological control.
He can see things in the ring
even before they're happening. He can look at you and say, oh, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to set me up for this trap. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you the shoulder roll and lean and counter punch.
It's like the Matrix. Everything slows down for him.
I have to change the look defensively constantly. I have to give you this look. I have to give you this look.
They're actually switching to lefty. When was the last time we saw this?
That way he keeps the opponent thinking. He'll keep you confused. He'll keep you guessing while he himself gets his offense going. It all comes back to his intelligence, the intellectual part of his brain capacity in the ring. It's his biggest strength.
And now here comes Manny Pacquiao.
In order to beat Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao has to make his role as the attacker the most important role in the fight.
Here comes Pacquiao. Knocks Marquez off balance.
He has unusual power.
By Pacquiao stuns Algieri. Now it's Cotto whose back is against the rope. And he fights his way off and goes down again.
He needs to be the Manny Pacquiao who fought Oscar.
Manny Pacquiao is annihilating Oscar De La Hoya.
And Hatton and Cotto.
Cotto's taking a ton of punishment.
A really aggressive, dynamic fighter.
Manuel, he's rearranging Margarito's face, and it may never look the same again. Covered boxing for 24 years, and this is the best offensive fighter I've ever seen.
If Manny Pacquiao can crowd Mayweather, turn it into a street fight, really throw a lot of punches.
And if Manny's aggressive and takes the fight to him every minute of every round.
Here comes Pacquiao. That's a fighter. Unbelievable machine.
It's vital that he throw somewhere over 800 punches in this fight.
Pacquiao's beginning to land with almost every punch.
Manny Pacquiao wins this fight if his speed enables him to apply enough pressure to put Floyd Mayweather out of his comfort zone.
He can't run in this fight. If he can't run, that means he has to exchange more. If he exchanges with Manny Pacquiao, that's a mistake. You don't want to exchange with Manny Pacquiao, believe me.
Manny will throw 4 punches, then step out, then 5. Then step out, and then move, and then throw 3. He's got to keep coming in, throw a flurry, move out before Floyd can counter him.
Manny's greatest strength is the fact that he's such an unorthodox fighter. His activity level, the angles from what he punches with, just the rhythm of how he fights.
Who has a rare capability to go in and come out at angles.
Look at Pacquiao. Isn't he a beautiful machine? And he can punch combinations from so fluid from all angles.
And when he's throwing punches from angles and in positions where he shouldn't be able to get juice on those shots, they have mustard on him. That's the best Pacquiao.
He's one of the trickiest guys in boxing. Not all southpaws could really snap the right jab and throw a really hard right hook. Manny Pacquiao, God bless him, can do it.
And there's a hard left by Pacquiao and a good right hook.
Another thing, he changes direction.
On the ropes. And here comes And he turns it around and bangs Margarito defensively.
He'll turn him this way. He'll turn him that way. He's great at it. He'll circle. He'll hit him with a right hook. Hit him with a right jab. If he can keep moving, keep circling, he can just make Floyd Mayweather crazy. He can outbox him. He can get off first. He can pile up points, and he can win the fight.
This is the fight that the fans have been salivating for years. And I'm just happy to be a part of history and give the fans exactly what they want to see.
You're seeing the craft performed at the highest level in the world. Mayweather and Pacquiao fighting to see whose era is it, who can impose their will literally on the other guy. The stakes couldn't be higher.
It's time. Two legends one destiny. All roads end here. Mayweather-Pacquiao, May 2nd, live on pay-per-view. Mayweather-Pacquiao, Saturday, May 2nd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view.
Come on, here we go. Ready?
On March 11th, 2015, in a town that usually rolls out the red carpet for movie stars, boxing's two biggest celebrities came to Los Angeles for a press conference that quickly turned into a media extravaganza.
The press conference in Los Angeles was really a scene that I had never quite seen before. You had a red carpet that was as long and as crowded as the Academy Awards. You had the Goodyear blimp that was circling.
It really hit me that we made the fight. When I saw it on that credential, I saw the words, Mayweather-Pacquiao, May 2nd, MGM Grand. And then I saw all the media, I'm like, wow.
I've been in boxing almost 50 years, and I've never seen anything like that.
There were over 700 media members. It was a great feeling to see all those media members. They were all there for Floyd and Manny.
Seeing the red carpet, seeing the massive amounts of media. You don't get that many media at most fights.
Manny, don't you feel that? Thanks, Manny.
And that includes, sports outlets, boxing outlets.
I know, I can't wait.
And a lot of outlets that typically don't cover the sport.
Sing happy birthday for me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Manny.
Pacquiao!
I'm old enough to remember Lewis Tyson, the last time Showtime and HBO were in the same room, and to see Floyd and Manny in the same room, with all that attention, you realize this is not another big fight. It's a huge fight, bigger than anything we've had in a long time.
I'd like to introduce the pound for pound best fighter on this planet, none other than Floyd Money Mayweather.
But on a day filled with over-the-top hype, the man of many words was unusually quiet and reserved.
May 2nd, the fight of the century. It's all about the best, fighting the best. And Pacquiao is one of the best fighters of this era.
Part of Floyd's appeal is he zigs when you think he's gonna zag. I was not surprised that there were no histrionics from Floyd.
When Floyd believes that a fight needs to be sold to maximize the pay-per-view return, he will sell the fight. When Floyd believes that the fight is big enough to sell itself, he will take a different tack.
May 2nd, that's when the world stops.
Everybody knows what's at stake. Everybody knows what this means. Why embellish it? Why try to dress it up?
They don't need to trash talk to promote this fight. I mean, people have wanted to see this fight for 5 years. They're desperate to see it.
And I want to thank Showtime and HBO for helping to make this fight happen, and also Mayweather Promotion and Team Pacquiao.
Please welcome the trainer of Manny Pacquiao, Freddie Roach.
Nothing moved Mayweather. Not even Freddie Roach's attempt to engage Floyd in some friendly trash talking.
We are in the toughest fight of our life. We're fighting the best fighter in the world. And we're going to kick his ass. I'm sorry, but good luck, Floyd. I thought somebody's going to have to say something here. So I thought I would get a rise out of somebody, but I didn't.
On this day, even the standard press conference stare down took on legendary status.
I've covered fights for 30 years, and I had goosebumps as I watched them approach each other on the stage.
I
was looking at my watch and it went on past a minute. And I was like, whoa. And neither person cracked a smile. They just looked dead into each other's eyes, and I was just sitting there wondering, like, what is going through their minds? I'm about to take your block off on May 2nd. You know they both had to be saying that.
I really had a flashback. It reminded me of Ali and Fraser, and Leonard and Hearns, and Leonard and Hagler. The same kind of tingle when I saw those great warriors face off.
Mayweather versus Pacquiao, May 2. Be there.
It's time. Two legends. One destiny. All roads end here. Mayweather-Pacquiao, May 2nd, live on pay-per-view. Mayweather-Pacquiao, Saturday, May 2nd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view.
One of the interesting points about this fight is that there is no rematch clause. And that's strange for a fight of this caliber.
Neither fight camp raised the question of a rematch. It never came up.
There was no need to put a rematch clause in our contract because we're very, very confident.
Neither guy has really contemplated the possibility of losing. And as such, neither guy really feels like they need a rematch clause.
On May 2nd, 2015, at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, the fight everyone has been waiting for will finally take place. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, the two most famous and accomplished fighters of this generation, are both eager and ready to meet history head-on. And each is determined to give the sport a signature moment fans will remember forever.
The fight has taken on almost a mythical quality because we've come so close so many times.
This is a historical event because these are the two best fighters of their generation. So the winner of this fight has some bragging rights.
Both fighters feel as though they have a great deal at stake in terms of their legacies.
In Mayweather's case, the idea of being undefeated when he retires is so important to him that this does have a dramatic impact on his legacy.
Manny Pacquiao won championships, conquered every challenge. So for him, this is as big as it gets.
This is a must-see fight, May the 2nd.
We've had 5-6 years of pent-up demand for this fight.
I use the test that a lot of people in boxing use. We talked to some of our friends who may not be boxing fans at all. They were all interested in this fight. As soon as it happened, are you going to be there? Can you get me a ticket?
Boxing needs this fight because of all the attention the fight will get. We talk about Manny Pacquiao, we talk about Floyd Mayweather, but essentially it's a boxing match with the emphasis on boxing. And that's great for the sport.
This is going to be enormous. This is a cultural phenomenon as much as a fight.
You have two fighters, one who's undoubtedly been the #1 pound-for-pound fighter of his generation. Manny Pacquiao, you have a very, very determined fighter, and he's the guy that the fans think can knock Floyd Mayweather off his throne.
The two best fighters in the world, two of the best fighters of all time, their styles are perfect. One of the greatest pure boxers ever versus one of the greatest pure aggressive fighters ever. You know Pacquiao is going to attack. He's going to force the action. And it's hard to imagine Floyd letting Pacquiao take the play away from him. So I'm expecting not only a beautiful fight in terms of the artistry of both guys, it'll be accessible to the masses, even if you're not among the boxing connoisseurs. you can see, it's easy to understand what you're watching. Wow, that's a great fight.
I think the fight will be good. I'm expecting it to be good. And more than that, it's just seeing the scene that will be a part of that. I think it's going to be an extraordinary evening.
I expect to hear the biggest roar from the crowd. I think the MGM will be exploding. It's that crescendo where the crowd has waited. For me, it's going to be like a volcanic eruption because the crowd has been waiting for years for this fight. And you're going to see those flash bulbs in the crowd, and you're going to see everybody on their feet just waiting for that opening bell. You're not going to be able to contain the excitement. The electricity from that crowd on May 2nd is going to be something special.
Manny Pacquiao is going to walk first. The place is going to erupt, and I don't think it's going to stop until after the fight ends.
When Floyd walks down that tunnel, he smiles out into the crowd, and the millions and millions of viewers who'll be watching, it will be an unbelievable moment.
I think it's going to be unlike any sporting event we have ever seen. The passion in that arena is going to be incredible.
And if the fight lives up to the expectation, you can blow the roof off the MGM Grand for sure.
To call yourself TBE the best ever, you got to beat the best. Both of these guys realize if they want to go down in history as one of the greatest fighters to ever step into that square circle, got to fight each other.
This is it. They've beaten everybody else. They've got a resume full of Hall of Fame fighters that they've defeated. It's just Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather now standing in each other's way to decide who is the best fighter of this era.
I think people should tune in May 2nd because you want to be part of history. You want to see the biggest fight ever. You want to be able to say, I witnessed whatever history is made. You want to be a part of it.
We talk about Manny Pacquiao, we talk about Floyd Mayweather. There's a saying that a high tide raises all ships. And that's the case here. This fight will be the biggest, certainly from a financial standpoint, the biggest fight in history, by far.
This is a genuine super fight that comes along once every, some would argue, 10 or 15 years. I'd argue almost half century.
I think it'd be one of the biggest events of all time.
May 2nd is going to be astronomical. Fans across the globe, all over the world will be tuned in. The world will stop come May the 2nd. Tune in. Mayweather versus Pacquiao.
It's gonna be a historic fight and memorable fight. This is one in a lifetime.
You have two Hall of Famers meeting head to head in the best city in the world. You know, it's lights, camera, action. This fight doesn't need a title. It's Mayweather versus Pacquiao, May 2nd.
It's time. Two legends. One destiny. All roads end here. Mayweather-Pacquiao, May 2nd, live on pay-per-view. Mayweather-Pacquiao, Saturday, May 2nd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view.
We have somebody at the pick'em board, Real Deal Holyfield, the one and only 5-time heavyweight champion of the world, joins the desk. Before you join the desk, kind sir, can you please make your pick? Who wins the fight? Okay. He's in the middle.
Oh, come on!
He's in the middle, folks.
Come on, Evander.
We got
It's
another
tough.
TO here.
Come on!
It's tough, and there's no more room on the board,
Yeah,
actually.
I think that's
Evander
the problem.
Holyfield, thank you so much for joining First Take. We appreciate it. Please have a seat, kind sir. So I have to make sure I understand this correctly. You aren't picking either or to win the fight. Make your case. Why can't you decide?
Well, it's because what I say don't have nothing to do with what's going to happen in the fight. And I realize that. It's what those guys do that day is what's going to make the difference.
I'm sorry. How many times this man was champion?
5 times.
He's 5 times. He's 5 times. You're 5-time heavyweight champion, right?
Yeah.
You know, I was watching you when you were dominating the light heavyweight division, when you beat Muhammad Qawi. All right. I remember that. I remember what you did in the heavyweight division. I remember you knocking out Buster Douglas in 1990. I do believe that she just introduced you as a 5-time champion, which means that, I mean, far be it for me to suggest, but when it comes to the sport of boxing, you know, you pretty much know a lot about boxing. What is wrong with a prediction, man, Evander? Why can't I get a prediction?
Because what I say don't have nothing to do with what those guys going to do that day. Now, both of the guys are capable of winning.
Okay.
And so if both of them capable of winning and they stick to their style, only one guy gonna win anyway.
Your gut doesn't tell you either way?
No, because I understand all of that they gonna be going through, gonna weigh in that mind at night.
Okay.
When they get up in the morning, and then they got to get in that ring, then they got to kick it off. Which one gonna kick it off?
Roy Jones Jr. sat in that very chair, and he said, no matter what they say, they're gonna be nervous for this fight. Anybody that tells you they ain't nervous is lying. Is he right about that?
Of course. I'm to the point of, I don't know what you call it nerve, but your body kick up, all these things go in your mind. I would not even sleep almost a half a night when the fight comes. And I get up in the ring and say to myself, what in the world I'm doing in it? Mm-hmm. Then when the bell ring, I do well.
Okay, but you have been quoted as saying that you're guessing that Pacquiao will win the fight just because boxing will not let Mayweather win the fight and be an undefeated champion. That it will set up a rematch. We did see those quotes not too long ago.
We saw them recently.
Well, no, but I didn't say that. But in fact, what I was actually saying that when it go down to the decision, the judges make the decision. This is reason why you have to get out of that comfort zone and you have to do something. Because if you allow the judges to make a decision on who they thought won, you sitting here like saying, oh, shoot, you know, it's just like a beautiful.
What fight in your career did you encounter where you walked into the ring feeling exactly what you just described?
And all of them.
You felt in every fight that if it went to decision, you would get robbed?
Yeah, because I know they weren't on my side. Because it's the things that I'm who I am. I'm saying, you know, and everybody have that will to be who they are, whether you like it or not. And, you know, so when I sit here and say he think he a good at two shoe because he keeps saying he a Christian. Well, that's just what I believe. I believe in the Word of God, and this is the way I do it. And people can say what they want to say, but everybody have a right.
Got it.
So you get in here, and you just know that people just looking at you. Yeah, them judges ain't on my side.
Okay, so if you were Floyd 47-0 Mayweather, are you going into that ring thinking, I got to knock this man out to win this fight?
Well, I'm going to do what it takes. It's not a fight that I ever went in that I didn't try to take that guy out. Because you know what? It's a bonus. I'm telling you, they're going to pay me for 12 rounds anyway. If I can get them out in 1 round, it's okay. You know, it's the whole big thing. But I have to fight the fight that I know that is right for me. And so what that means is I'm always trying to get the guy out. If I catch you blanking your eye, I'm going to get you.
What do you mean catch your blink of the eye? Explain. What do you mean catch your blink of your eye?
When you hit a guy, you hit a guy's eye, and his eye blink like that, man. You see it. You see a person just oh man, you
comes over Baghdad. That's right.
That's right. Yeah. Now it's interesting that you brought something up because I don't know if you've ever been asked this question. Manny Pacquiao obviously is at a point in time right now where he wears his spirituality on his sleeve. Is that fair to say?
Sure. I was going to ask him about this.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm surprised you're asking.
All right. Floyd Mayweather, some would say, is not. It doesn't do it that way. Who do you think the judges are rooting for? Because like you said, you were always of the mindset that, I'm a Christian man, I'm not apologizing for it to anybody, and you felt like you just articulated like you felt that was a reason the judges held something against you. Well, they're in Vegas, Sin City. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So who do you think would get the benefit of the doubt on the part of the judges? Pacquiao, the Christian, or Floyd Mayweather, who people are trying to treat like the Antichrist?
Well, it come down to what benefit them judges. Okay. So it's a whole big thing. So I don't know which way the judges are going in.
Benefits the judges.
What benefits the judges? I'm telling you, if they want them, like the fact of the matter is that you undefeated, and he talking about this, and you think don't nobody want to see him cry? They want to say, oh.
So you think they're against Floyd?
They're against, you don't know who they're against. I'm talking about Mayweather's a nice guy, and they did him that way. I'm talking, what did he do wrong? When he fought Bradley.
Pacquiao,
Yeah, Pacquiao, yeah. It was Pacquiao, he fought Bradley. And what happened?
It was absolute all-time robbery.
Oh, okay, then I'm talking, and he sat there and he go, in other words, what did he do wrong? But, this is where you got.
I see what you're saying.
That's how you handle it.
Actually, I thought the all-time robbery was Pernell Whitaker getting robbed against Julio Cesar Chavez, but that's me.
Do you have another question about Christianity for him?
Oh, just real quick. Yeah. Freddie Roach, Pacquiao's trainer, has voiced his concern over the last few years after Pacquiao's spiritual conversion of 5 years ago. And again, you often talk about how you were powered by God. Mm-hmm. Freddie was a little concerned that Manny started pulling punches, that he was taking it a little too easy on opponents because he cared too much for them. Give us your perspective on that.
Well, I don't think no fighter took it easy on nobody. Because of the art of the game, either you're going to fight or you're not.
As a Christian.
What I'm saying, I go in there as a Christian, but if I can knock you out and get it over, that's what I'm going to do. This is what, I'm not going to say, oh, let me help you back up when you can make it harder on me. Yeah. I'm to make you fight your fight. I'm saying the fact of the matter is you went to read the Bible for yourself. He tell them destroy everybody. Don't. If you go over there, you take all of them out.
You're the Old Testament.
Don't leave no one person. Don't get you.
Yeah. No New Testament.
All right, so
don't turn the other cheek here.
You're here promoting the heavyweight fight between Vladimir Klitschko and Bryant Jennings on Saturday at Madison Square Garden. Tell us about the fight.
Well, it can be a great fight.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it could be what they call a Black Rocky. I'm telling you, Jennings, if you look at it, there's no way he's supposed to have a chance to win. But his amateur record, he didn't fight long. Mm-hmm. And the professional, he didn't fight long. So he fighting a guy with experience and all this. So you know what?
Yeah.
He got to go in there and do something.
Yeah.
He got to go in there and do that. Don't nobody know if he can.
Okay.
But he should know. So, he at least go out and give it all.
Have you seen Jennings?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen the fight.
Because let me tell you something right now. You don't have a strong amateur record. And you haven't been fighting that long in the pros, and you going up in there against Vladimir Klitschko, I'm assuming, like most other fights, he's got about a 20-pound advantage, okay? That's going to be a problem.
Well, yeah, it could be a problem. It's all in how you think.
Oh.
Now, I don't want to say it's all in how you think, man. It's all in how you think. If somebody tell you you don't stand a chance, what they do? They're supposed to give you some kind of incentive. You're the youngest one. And you know what? And I understand by being the youngest. I'm the youngest of 9 in my family. Mm-hmm. I knew I was going to be successful because I wanted to beat my brothers and sisters that meant something. I wanted it. I had that desire. And so I'm telling you, and in everybody's life, they can do at least one time. I'm going to go out there and be as reckless as I can and try to win this thing. To be a champion, you got to get out the comfort zone.
5-time heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Holyfield. We appreciate you being here. Enjoy your time on campus. That was great. It was enlightening. Stephen A. really appreciate it.
Thank you.
After game one, it didn't look good for the Spurs, but apparently there was a miracle. This guy named Patty Mills showed up. A lot of good things happened. Now are they in control of the series? PJ Carlesimo joins the desk to break it all down for us. Add some perspective to this conversation. We'll be back in just a few moments, guys.
Hey man, I'm Mike Tyson. Really, subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more great videos.